In example 7b, the function we will be working with is g of x is equal to 4 times x cubed plus 5. We need to algebraically test this function to see if it is even, odd, or neither. Okay, so again, before we begin, we are going to break down this function. Okay, we first need to replace g of x with y. That way, when it comes time to test for origin symmetry, we have a y to replace with negative y. Okay, you have to physically see the y in order to do that. And then we need to break down the exponents. On the right side, we have 4 times x cubed. So the x cubed is going to be, this is going to be 4 times x times x times x. And then we've got the plus 5. So going forward in our testing, this is how we want to work with this function or equation. Okay. All right, let's first test for this function to see if it's even. Okay, so that means if it's even, it's going to have y-axis symmetry. So if you recall the test for y-axis symmetry, that means if you start with a point x, y, since we're testing for y-axis symmetry, we're going to have y stay put, and we're going to replace each instance of x with negative x. Okay, so let's do it. Go to your equation in the box. Okay, we're going to have y equals 4 times each instance of x we need to replace with negative x. So the right side is going to be 4 times negative x times negative x times negative x. Don't forget the plus 5. Okay, now we need to simplify to see if we get the original function back. So we're going to have y equals 4. Okay, we need to talk about the sign here. Negative times negative is positive, times negative is going to be negative. Okay, so this is actually going to be y equals negative 4. And then x times x times x is x cubed. Okay, plus 5. So we have simplified the function here. Okay, we need to compare it to the original function. So that's up here. Okay, you can see that this is not the same function. In the original function, we have positive 4x cubed. In this equation, we have negative 4x cubed. Okay, so this is not the original equation or function. So we can conclude that this function does not have y-axis symmetry. So we're going to go ahead and say it is not even. Okay. All right. So remember, if you're testing for even, that has no bearing on odd. Okay. You have to kind of test each separately. Okay. So we need to move on now and see if this function is odd. Okay. So let's move over. I'll put it in a different color. Okay, so to test for odd, we're testing to see if this function has origin symmetry. So the rule is for if you start with a point x, y, you need to make both replacements. Okay, we're going to replace x with negative x and y with negative y. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go to the boxed equation here. Okay, instead of y, I need to replace y with negative y. Okay, and that's going to equal 4 times, okay, we've got x times x times x. We've got to replace each of the x's with negative x. So this is going to be negative x times negative x times negative x, okay, and then don't forget the plus 5. All right, let's simplify and see if we get the original function. Okay, we're going to get negative y is equal to, on the right side, negative times negative is positive times negative is negative. So we're going to have negative 4 x times x times x is x cubed. Okay, plus 5. Okay, we need to compare apples to apples. So we need to be comparing y equals to y equals. So the next thing I'm going to do to make this left side positive y, I'm going to multiply the left side by negative 1. But if I multiply the left side by negative 1, that means I have to multiply the right side by negative 1. Okay, so we're going to do that. And remember, the right side of this function has more than one piece. So we're going to have to distribute that negative sign through. So you need parentheses around the negative 4x cubed plus 5. Okay, so let's simplify and see what we get. Okay, negative 1 times negative y is going to be positive y. Okay, and then on the right side, we're going to distribute this -1. Negative times negative is going to be positive 4x cubed, and then negative times positive is going to be a -5. Okay, so we have simplified. We have y equals. We can compare it to y equals. Okay, we have 4x cubed on 4x cubed minus 5 on the right. If we compare that to the original function, the 4x cubes match, but the original function has a positive 5, and we have just simplified and we got a -5. Okay, so this is not the original function. So we can go ahead and conclude that this function is not odd. Okay, so the answer for this particular function, it is neither even nor odd. Okay, if we go to a calculator, yes, we were asked to do this algebraically, which we did, but we can confirm our answer on a calculator. Okay, so if we go and we graph this out, we go to y equals, we type in 4x cubed, and I believe it was plus 5. Okay, and we graph it. Make sure you use your standard window, okay, and graph it. Okay, when you see this function and you look at it, it does not have y-axis symmetry and it does not have origin symmetry. Okay, so our algebraic tests appear to be correct. This function is neither even nor odd.